On the recording, please. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining today on time. We have good registration. Over 600 people have shown interest, and I'm sure they'll be joining shortly. And we're looking for a good turnout. So, my name is Dominic, one of the founding member of NFE. It gives me great pleasure to be host today and share the knowledge on the webinar. And today's subject is very interesting: importance of underground cable termination and joints. This for the first time in NFE we are talking about termination and joints of cables. As India rapidly expanding its power infrastructure, metros and smart cities, a data center, EV charging network, industrial corridors, and urban redevelopment underground cabling has become a backbone of reliable power distribution. Yet, large percent of failure, outages, and even fire incidents do not occur because of the cable itself, but due to the improper termination and poor joining practices on non-standard workmanship. So this webinar is a part of NFE's ongoing mission, Vidyut Surakshit Bharat, to promote electrical safety through knowledge, best practices, and responsible engineering. We're extremely proud to have Polycab, one of the most trusted, respected brand in India, as our knowledge partner for this session. Polycab has been contributing to NFE's growth by participating in almost all the educational knowledge programs. And today they stand as the India's premier institution and contribution to quality manufacturing, testing, standardization. They have played a vital role in improving electrical safety across India. About NFE, I would like to play through we have a video. I just like to play a video. Then I'll come back to you. May I request my colleague, Lakshmi, to play a short corporate video of NFE.
Electricity is the heartbeat of modern India. It lights our homes, powers our industries, runs our hospitals, and connects every corner of our nation. Yet behind every switch and circuit lies a silent responsibility, the responsibility of safety. Every year, thousands of electrical fires and accidents remind us that one loose connection can change lives forever. According to national data, over 25,000 electrical fires occur annually, claiming lives, destroying property, and halting progress. Most of them could have been prevented through better design, better supervision, and better awareness. The country witnessed repeated accidents and increase in casualties due to poor installations, lack of inspection, and absence of accountability. They decided to take action. Thus began a movement, the National Federation of Engineers for Electrical Safety, NFE, started with a small group of like-minded professionals with only passion and purpose. They began spreading awareness through webinars, workshops, and training sessions, one city at a time. What started as a conversation soon became a nationwide movement for safety and change. In just a few years, NFE has grown into one of India's fastest-growing engineering societies, uniting over 2,500 plus engineers across 12 chapters in India. Each chapter drives its mission through learning, collaboration, and public awareness campaigns. NFE has conducted over 180 webinars and 50 workshops on the National Electrical Code of India in collaboration with the Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS. These programs are helping thousands of engineers stay updated with safety codes, best practices, and new technologies. NFE's signature annual event, ElecSafe, brings together government leaders, consultants, manufacturers, and innovators. It celebrates best practices and showcases electrical safety products that make buildings and industries safer across India. NFE's student chapters inspire young engineers to design responsibly while its professional programs help experts achieve certifications that matter. Together, we are building a new generation of engineers who think safety first. From a humble start to a national movement, NFE continues to lead with integrity, commitment, and purpose. Because electrical safety is not just a regulation, it's a responsibility. Together, let's build an electrically safe nation. National Federation of Engineers for Electrical Safety. Join NFE as a crusader for change, spreading awareness, training professionals, and advocating compliance.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you for playing that video. That's a very in short about NFE. We have various membership fee for those who are not yet become a member. I would urge you to become a member as an individual or a corporate or MSME. And if you're a student, you can become a student chapter. The mission is quite, ambitious. We want to go to rural areas. We want to go to every schools in the country and impart electrical safety knowledge in every student so that we build a robust generation in the future. With us today, we have expert speaker, Ravi Lokhande. So Ravi is a seasoned business leader with 22 years of experience in the electrical power industry. He has worked across various sectors, gaining expertise in SF6 circuit breakers, isolators, lightning arrestor, medium voltage covered conductors, cables, wires, and cable accessories. With over 14 years of experience, extensive experience in cable accessories, Ravi specializes in solutions ranging from low voltage to extra high voltage system up to 220 kV. I would now request my colleague Chiranjeev to take over from me and introduce Polycap through their video and later by Ravi. Over to you, Chiranjeev.
In every heartbeat of a home, in every spark of a city, there is a rhythm powered by Polycap. Every great journey begins with a spark, a dream to connect, to conduct, to empower. From the very beginning, safety has been our promise, a promise that powers homes, protects lives, and builds trust. What began as a dream in a modest shop in 1964 was wired into reality in 1983 as Polycap India Limited, now India's largest wires and cables manufacturer. From wires and cables that protect your loved ones, to fans that cool your homes, to lighting that brightens your spaces, Polycap touches lives in more ways than you can imagine. Polycap is a true manufacturing marvel. With state-of-the-art facilities, backed by robust R&D and integrated capabilities. We are not just building products, we are partners in building India. From temples to tech, from railways to runways. Behind every product is a passionate team. 4,800 plus employees, 4,300 plus distributors, and 200,000 plus retail outlets united by Polycap Soch. Our commitment goes beyond business. Through CSR, we uplift communities in education, healthcare, agriculture, and more. Sustainability isn't a checkbox. It's the rhythm of our future, and we are tuned in, driven by a purpose to make homes safer and enable a secure India. Polycap has grown exponentially. As the nation progressed, Polycap became the nervous system, laying copper veins of connectivity. Polycab is truly a made in India brand. With a global reach, our pulse is now heard across continents.
We are a family in this line from 4 decades. Work hard and work for India. We want to expand our capacity too large because I want to grow, I want to get others grow, I want to support everybody and I want to see that our country should grow.
Beyond all lies our true mission, people. Every product we build, every solution we deliver carries our vision of connecting all to a bright and safe future. When you choose Polycab, you choose safety, reliability, and a partner for life.
Rajiv, can you request Ravi to take over?
Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, that was about Polycab in a nutshell. I would now request Mr. Ravi Lokhande to start the show.
Yeah, thanks, Dominic. Thanks, Chiranju.
Thank
Hope
you.
my voice is audible. Could you just confirm it?
Yeah, you're very clear. You can go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So, as Dominic introduced our India's growth story, our EV is increasing, solar is increasing, then cities are increasing, city expansion are going on. So everywhere underground cabling is going on. So it's very most important now. Cables everywhere, cable will be there, and cable joints and termination will definitely required. And weakest link we will find in the system will be the cable joints and termination. So today we will discuss on this cable joints and termination, how it's important, what features we have, and what we can see in this cable joints and termination. So let's first introduce about the polycab cable accessories, why we come in the cable accessories business. So as we want to be a solution provider in the market, so as we have a cables ranging from the 1.1 kV to 220 kV right now. Next year we will come with the 400 kV also. So and next year our factory will be there in the running set, so we can provide to the customer EHV cables also. So we have a complete range of cables. Then we have a dowels, that's a cable lugs and glands basically. So one missing link what we found is the joints and termination. So by coming in the joints and termination, we are able to give the customer cables, joints and termination, dowels, lugs and glands. So customer will get everything at single stop. So that was the our motto to come in the cable joints and termination business. So as Chiranju shared the Polycab's corporate video, and there everything is mentioned about the what range of the products we have. So I will not spend much time on this actually, but I will just share our market share for the cable wires and is cables at almost 26, more than 26%. It's at 26 to 28%. We have a 28 manufacturing plants across India for the cables, wires, fans, switches, everything. We export our products to the 79 countries, and we have around more than 4,600 dealer distributor networks. So this is our journey. We had started in 1964 from the Lohar Char and till the 2025. So we are the 22,000 crores company, and we are continuously growing at a rate of more than 25% CAGR. This is just brief snapshot of the polycabs. So we have 26% market share for wires and cables, more than 4,600 dealer distributor networks, and 2 lakhs 5,000 plus retail outlets. we are the fast growing FMG brand. In last 5 years, we grown almost 30%. We have 28 manufacturing facilities. 4 locations are there, different locations like Halol, Bangalore, Roorkee, then Daman. So let's come to the topic actually. First things, cable joints and termination. So why actually it's very important that jointing of the cables or undergrounding of the cables is crucial. We should understand this first because jointing is not the small thing. It's not an easy thing. We have to do this jointing work roadside, and there are many activities are behind that. If someone understand these activities, then definitely he can understand the product, or he will understand to choose the products, quality products. First, planning and design. So that engineer has to plan and design, site survey, feasibility study, engineering design has to be done. Then local approval has to be taken, government utility or governments or utility municipal corporation, that approval has to be taken. Pre-execution activity has to be taken by the engineering team, that's marking where joints are fed, detect the jointing location, traffic plans, so divert the traffics if it's a crowded places or a crowded network places. Safety has to be taken care. Excavation and soiling activity has to be done, digging of the soil, then storage, where to store the soil, disposal of that soil, safety of the trench. Many times we heard that someone fall in this trench, so that activity has to be taken care. Then joint installation, prepare of pit, installation of the joint, do the testing activity, phasing activities, that has to be taken. Then backfilling and restoration. Once jointing work has done, then backfilling and restoration has to be done. And overall, after everything, documentation and handover process has to be done by the utility or that contractor. So you can understand how joints is crucial. It's not that selling of the product actually. This is basically large activity behind the jointing work. So as our topic says, importance of the cable accessories actually. Why important? So here I have mentioned the why cable accessories are required. Cable accessories are required because one is the we have to join the cables. Basic cables we cannot manufacture kilometers to kilometer, like 500 meters or 1000 meters when the cables come. We cannot manufacture 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer, 10 kilometers because of the two reasons. One is the transportation restrictions and spool sizes. So that's why you might be seeing cables are always manufactured in 500 meters or 1000 meters in the length. Then cable jointing is the process of joining of the two cables with one another or terminate at one end. Yes, I will show this pointer also. Here. Then cable joints and termination are used to connect cables and facilitate the flow of electricity. Then cable joints and termination are essential for connecting and terminating the cables at the equipment level. Cable joints and terminations ensure electrical, mechanical, and environmental safety of the system. So these are the actually function. Actually, these are the requirements from the cable accessories, and that's why cable accessories required. So whenever we choose the any manufacturer for the heat cable accessory, heat shrink joints or cold shrink joints, any type of joints. So what customers expect from us? So heat shrink accessory must meet stringent standards to ensure reliability, safety, and longevity in the power system. So three parameters always are there whenever any customer or any user choose the cable accessories. First, the electrical performance has to be done. Environmental protections has to be provided, and safety and compliance has to be done. So if you see the in electrical performance, so it should be ensure current carrying capacity as per the cables, as per the requirement. So cable joints or termination should be as per the cables. So if cables are the 300 square mm, 11 kV, 300 square mm, so cable joints or termination should be the same kind of things. It should provide electrical insulation also. or provide the electrical stress control. So joint or termination has to be provide the electrical stresses. We will see these electrical stresses, what electrical stresses are there in detail in the next coming slide. Second, even though we connect two cables, so we require the environmental protection system also. So sealing against moisture ingress has to be there. If there is a PLC type of cable, so oil leakage should not be travel from this side to one side to another side. Then resistance to mechanical damage, any abrasion, chemicals should not affect the joints and improve the fire resistance. In the safety and compliance standards, it should be guarantee earthing, provide desired shielding to the cable, and improve the fire resistance also. So any customer when asked for the joints or termination, that's a cable accessory, he expect these things from the manufacturer or the product. I have just briefing here the cables, actually what power cables is there. And also I'm happy that Polycab manufactures this range of the cable. And cable actually has to be supplied as per the cables. So one should understand cable first. Once we understand the cable, then cable accessories also the we can understand. So cable accessories come for 1.1 kV to EHV cables. So LV is a 1.1 kV, medium voltage MV, that's 3.3, 6.6, 11 kV, 72 kV. So 3.3 to 42 kV is a medium voltage. High voltage 55 kV and 66 kV. Then EHV 110 kV to 220 kV and UHV 400 and 500. Two types of cables are there. One is underground cabling, another is overhead. Underground, we know very well that's basically armored cables we buried underground. Overhead is basically two cables are coming in right now. One is a medium voltage cover conductor, that's an insulated cover conductor. And another one is the aerial bunch cables. Both require the joints and termination or cable accessories. Then there are different types of insulation and cable accessories should be as per the insulation type of insulation. So XLP is extensively used in India now for the insulation mechanism. Then PLC type of the cables. These cables are known manufacturing right now or no stop manufacturing of the PLC cables. But in India, many places are there where still PLC old cables are buried. And whenever those cables fail, then customer use the transition joint at that place. So one side is a PLC, another side is a XLP. And in that case, we require the special type of joint. That's a transition joint. Then EPR cables, PVC cables, these are the different types of the cables. Then single core, 3-core, 4-core, multi-core cables. Depending on the conductor shape also is classified the cables. Sector shape, round shape, aluminum conductor, copper cable, conductor. There are different sizes of the cables. It depends on the customer requirements or depends on the voltage and the current of the customers. So it starts from 16 square mm to 2500 square mm. So these 2500, 2600, these are for the EHV grade actually. These cables required for the EHV voltages. Let's understand the construction of the cable. If you as I understand might be all of you are from the same field, so you know the cable constructions very well. But I will just run through this in a few seconds. This is a 3-core copper cable. Copper conductor is there. Over that, here if you see, it's a semi-conducting layer is there. Over that XLP insulation. Over that again semi-conducting layer. These three cables bind together and to give the round shape, we use the feelers. Over that wrapping tape is always there. Over the wrapping tape, armoring is there. And over the armoring, the outer sheath is there. These conductors, these cables has different conductors sizes. sometimes solid, compact, compressed, and concentric. This is a copper cables. Instead of copper, aluminum will be there. Here, right side, if you see, it's a Millikan conductor. These Millikan conductors are used for the EHV. So Millikan conductor is a small thin wires actually is there. This is used to reduce the skin effect basically. And that's why this is extensively used for the EHV. So let's come to the now heat shrink cable accessories. So there are two types of cable accessories. Whatever we will discuss here right now, it's from the 1.1 to 33 kV cable accessories grade only, or 33 kV up to 33 kV cables only. So there are two types of technologies in India or across the world. We can say one is the heat shrink cable accessories, another one is the cold shrink cable accessories. We are manufacturing only the heat shrink cable accessories. And in India also 99% of the customers are asking for the heat shrink cable accessories. Cold shrink cable accessories are used where refineries or mines are there, wherever torch is not allowed or flames are not allowed. They basically use the cold shrink technology. So heat shrink technology is the extensively used because this technology proves actually how it's a reliable. So it's a trusted solution across industry, I can say. It's in terms of electrical insulation, mechanical protection, environmental sealing, stress relief. So that's why heat shrink accessories are widely used in India. Key features are there. Basically, heat shrink accessories, when we saw, it comes the tubing, heat shrink tubes. So shrink ratios are generally 2:1 and 3:1. It's an excellent dielectric strength. So whatever heat shrink tubes are there, that's an excellent dielectric strength. Resistance to abrasion, chemical and UV. Even though if these heat shrink tubes you use in the chemical area, or if you put it any soil or anything on that joints, so it's an excellent resistance properties there. Many times you see that cables are over the grounds, so it's a UV protector, we can say. So it's a resistant to UV protector. Wide operating temperature range are there for the heat shrink accessories. So let's understand what is a heat shrink technology. As we are discussing heat shrink cable accessories, heat shrink cable accessory and cold shrink cable accessories. So let's understand what is a heat shrink technology. It is a specially formulated polymer material. When we shrink by the torch or flame, it's heated and it takes the shape of the cables. That's why called as a heat shrink technology. This process ensures protective and proportional finish. When we say heat shrink cable accessories, so it's shrink when you give the heat or flames. But this cross-linking is always happen in this heat shrink technology. So there are two phases of the cross-linking process. One is the chemical cross-linking, and another one is the e-beaming or nuclear cross-linking. Chemical cross-link and nuclear cross-link there are two different methods of the cross-linking of the heat shrink tubings. So when heat shrink products undergo cross-linking process, which enhance the thermal and mechanical properties. So by cross-linking, thermal and mechanical properties increases of the tubings. Another term always used in the heat shrink technology is memory effect. What is the memory effect? So memory effect is that when you expand this heat shrink tube at the factory and send it to site, and when you again give heat to the tubes, it shrink up to the whatever there has a memory effect. For example, I will give you, if I send one heat shrink tube which is size is 100 by 50. When I say 100, I expanded that tube at factory by heating 100 mm. Again, when I heat at site, it shrink up to 50 square mm only. So that's a memory effect. General application, you all of know, wherever cables go, their cable accessories are required. So industrial and commercial infrastructure, distribution networks, substation and switch yards, and renewable energy, solar and wind. These are the broad category of the cable accessories segments, I can say, or application. But we can understand wherever cables required, there definitely termination and joints required. Even though in our household we use the wires, so those wires we use through the lugs basically, small lugs. So that way, wherever cables are there, cable accessories are definitely required. This is one of the very good products actually. Right now in India, these products are dominated by the China. This is a thin wall or LT heat shrink tubes. These are the small tubes actually. If you see the range from 1 square mm to 100 square mm. These are the used for the insulation, the wires, automotive or the wire harnessing or in solar systems. These are the for the 600 volt only. Now let's come to the classification of the cable accessories. So generally, whatever we are discussing, this is for the armored cables actually. So 1.1 kV, low voltage and medium voltage, as we broadly classified the cable accessories. Low voltage, when you say it's a up to 1.1 kV, and when I say medium voltage, it's a 11 kV, 22 kV, 33 kV. These are the medium voltage cable accessories. So we generally classified these cable accessories in two voltage classes. Let's see low voltage cable accessories. Here I have shown the termination and joints photographs. Right now in many utilities or in olden days, resin cast joints we were using. Resin cast joints, resin takes or hardness we take. We mix those resin and hardener and stir it and then pour it to the joint. It takes almost 2 hours to do the jointing work. But nowadays, many customers are using the heat shrink cable accessories. So this is a termination. So when you say, let's say to understand, there are again in this, there are different types of the low voltage cable accessories, heat shrink, cold applier or resin cast joint. So let's see this, the termination. So I will just show, or I will just show you the how is the termination happens. So this is the lux. Over the lux, we apply the XLP insulation. We provide the mastic here. That mastic is for the sealant purpose. So water should not go from this point. That's why. Breakout we provide, earthing element we give, and tin copper plates we are provided. So this is a termination. Same way join. We prepare the cable, ferrules, we connect conductor through the ferrules. Over that heat shrink tubings we give, and over that armoring, the baby canisters we provide, and outer protection, wraparound sleeve or the outer sleeves we use. Generally, these LT cables come for the 3 and cable accessories come for the 3.5 and 4 core system. But if it is required that the single core, 2 core, that also we can provide. Let's see the medium voltage cable accessories now. So medium voltage cable accessories are there 11 kV, 22 kV, 33 kV. It's a types are based on the technology, heat shrink joints, heat shrink termination, cold shrink joint, cold shrink termination, and screen plug-in termination. Nowadays, screen or plug-in joint terminations are many times used wherever GIS or RMUs are there. Their customer uses the screen or plug-in termination. Based on applications, we classified straight-through joint, transition joint, and branch joint. Transition joints we use wherever actually PILs to XLPs joints are required, their transition joints are used. Voltage rating 11 kV to 33 kV, core, single core, 3 core. Cable cross sections we use 35 to 400 square mm. Application standards are IS these cable accessories are as per the IS 13573 part 2 or testing as per part 2. So let's see the first joints. There are different components are required for the joints, making of the joints, and each component has their own function, but I have broadly classified these under 5. One is the electrical connections, stress controllers, voltage grading, electrical insulation has to be there, mechanical protection, and environmental sealing. So I have broadly classified these joints in 5 categories. Each, for the electrical connection, we use like ferrules. Stress control, for stress control, we use the semiconducting tubes that way. So let's see the one by one. For electrical connection, so for electrical connections, we use the ferrules or the mechanical connector. So it is used for connecting 2 cables. So I have shown here the pictures. So jointers always prepare the cables as per the dimensions mentioned in the installation manual. It prepares first the conductor, then prepare the XLP insulation. From here to here, remove the semiconducting layer. That way, jointer prepare the cable as per the installation manual given in the box. And jointer has to be prepared cable as per the installation manuals only. So first the ferrule. Ferrule is used for the connecting 2 cables first is that. Then current has to be passed through this ferrule so that that's why its resistance should be low. Depending on the cables, if it is aluminum, so aluminum ferrule, copper ferrule has to be used, or sometimes mechanical shear rod, that's a bimetallics, thus we can use. Stress control tube. Let's see the next is the stress control tube. This is very important in any cable joints and termination. Whenever you go from 11 kV to EHV, stress control tube, stress cone, or in EHV we say the stress cone. So it is very important. If stress control tube is not quality standard, at quality standard, so definitely joint or termination starts failing in early. So designing of the stress control tube is very important. So is stress control tubes impedance, that impedance should be precisely defined. It's a well-balanced parameter, has to be there stress control tube. So let's see what's happened if we do not use the stress control tube in the joints or termination. So here I have shown the 2 photos. This one is a without stress control tube and this one is a with a stress control tube. So jointer prepares the cable. This is a conductor. So over that this XLP insulation is there and over that this semiconducting layer. This is actually construction of the cable. If we do not use stress control tube and we charge this cable or with the joints. So see, electrical fluxes are developed in this and they see the lowest resistance where they will get lowest resistance path. So at this point, stresses get the lowest or nearest earth. So if you see, maximum stresses are developed at this point. And there are highly chances that joint fail at this point only. From here. And that will fail immediately if we do not use the stress control tube. Now see this photo, second photo. We have used this stress control tube here. Now, stress control tube is the tube which deflects or deflect these stresses. Now these stresses were concentrating at this point. Now if you see, stresses are not concentrating at that one point. It is getting deflected. And that's the function of the stress control tube. This is a stress grading plastic is there. So because semiconducting layer here and here steps happen, so we uses stress grading mastic at this point. So this is the function of the stress control tube and very, very important. In overall, if someone asks me which is the important components in the joints or termination, I can say conduct connector and the stress control tube. After connector, stress control tube is there. So quality of this stress control tube has to be great. Then we require stress grading mastic. So wherever tube we cannot use, like in last slide here in the step, because here air always form. So at this point we use the tape. Likewise, this stress grading mastic is used. So this is a very critical component again. It manages electrical stresses at the edge of semiconducting screen, like here, and over the insulation. Whenever we connect the two cables with the ferrules, and we do the crimping activity at this position. So after that, we use stress grading mastic at this point. Now, so let's understand, we are going as per the cable constructions only. Whatever cable layers are there, that way only we are going. Like cable has the conductor, over the conductor semiconducting layer, over the semiconducting layer XLP insulation is there, XLP insulation over that semiconducting layer is there. So that way only we are also building our joints and terminations. Ferrule, after ferrule, semiconducting layer, over the semiconducting layer, XLP insulation. So that is the electrical insulation. This is a dual wall co-extruded tube. So inside this is the insulation, outer side is the semiconducting. Same way as the cable construction. It provides both electrical screening and insulation. It's making essential for maintaining integrity and safety of power system. Now, next the mechanical and environmental sealing. So like we have built the electrical insulation, over that armoring comes. So how armoring, what's the function of armoring? Armoring function is the one is the short circuit current has to be passed or take care of that, and another one is the mechanical strength has to be given to the cables. So we use the VB canisters. Canisters we provide here so that mechanical strength and short circuit current or the arm continuity of armoring we use. Over that we provide the outer sleeves. That's the basically exactly of the cable outer sleeves. So this is the cable outer sleeves where that we shrink. From here, water will not go inside or outer sleeve such that water should not go from this position or moisture should not go from this point. If it is go inside the joint, then joint definitely fail today or tomorrow. So strongest point, actually strongest I can say, is that in any joints and termination, water should not be go. It should not allows. Like in Mumbai or coastal areas, water table is very high, and these joints are always vulnerable to the goes water inside the joints and termination. So outer sleeves always be such that it shrinks such a way to the cable, water should not go from that point. So this is a final products, actually you can say final joints photographs, where all bill of material also I have mentioned here. What are the bill of materials required to do the one joint? Like aluminum or copper ferrule, stress grading mastics we required, yellow color stress grading mastic, stress grading tube over that, then red insulation tube, double layer tube, black sealing mastics we use so the water will not go from that position point. Tin copper wire mesh we use, as the copper mesh wires are there. Now copper screening is there. So for the tin copper wire mesh, roll springs are there. GI support rings we use. Tin copper braid are there. SS clips are there. And GI canister over that. This one canister. And over that insulating tube is there. This is the insulation tube. Once we do all these, our joints are ready. So these are the, I can say, functions also, 5 different functions as I mentioned when we do the jointing components. So these are the 5 different functions of the joints components: electrical connection, stress control and voltage grading, electrical insulation, mechanical protection, environmental sealing. With these, our joints always, our joints made. Hope I am audible to everyone. So with this, we have just completed our joint actually. That's a medium voltage. In the first 2 slides, we have completed LT joints and LT terminations. Then after that, we had completed joints. Now let's go to the termination. So there are 2 types of termination, classified termination. One is an indoor termination, another one is outdoor termination. Again, here heat shrink, cold shrink, or epoxy types of terminations are there. Epoxy type terminations are very old technology. Nowadays, no one uses the epoxy type terminations, but heat shrink and cold shrinks are generally used. Voltage ratings 11 kV to 33 kV, single core, 3 core, cross section 16 square mm to 1000 square mm. Again, what we saw in the LT termination, here are the similar, some components are there. Sorry. So like lugs, over that lug seal tubes are there. Over that insulating tubes come. These creepage extenders we use for the extension of creepage, or sometimes people say the rain shed there. This is the insulation screen. Then this is breakout and earthing arrangement we do. So overall, this is the outdoor termination. Again, like we saw in the joint, different components. Here termination also has the different components. So heat shrink, but function wise, it's similar to joint component function. So heat shrink, stress control tube, anti-tracking tube, rain shades, lugs, mastic sealant tape, earthing braid and lugs, armor continuity, cleaning kits. So approximate with these kind of components, actually with these components, our terminations we do. One very good thing actually, I can say, always say that termination and joint is always the 50-50. 50-50 means what? 50% makes at the factory, 50% makes at the site. So 100% joints and termination happens, 100% finished product, I can say, 100% finished product is at site only. So many a times, when customers, even someone don't know about the joints and termination, when they see these components, okay, this is the products. So they many times surprised that ये तो finished products नहीं है. So that way, this finished product happen at site only. Again, same way, there in joint, ferrule was there, here termination lugs required. To terminate the termination to the equipment, transformer, RMUs, or whatever with the place. So we require the lugs to terminate. It is a current carrying part. It is used to connecting equipment or cable. It is always designed for the low resistance. It is always aluminum, copper, or the biometallics. So most of the people might be know that we have our dowels, actually it's a polycab subsidiary where we are manufacturing our lugs and glands, and we are using lugs, and these are the lugs or ferrules in our joints and termination. Again, here also stress control tube is required in, like in joint, stress control tube required. Here also the stress control tube required in terminations also. Same functions what we saw in the joint. So I will not repeat here. That's what's the function of the stress control tube. These three components are required, and these three components have a different functions. First is the anti-tracking tubes. These anti-tracking tubes are a specialized heat shrink insulating tube. It reconstructs the cable by providing insulation and tracking resistance. It prevents surface electrical tracking and consequent flashes. So this is the actually anti-tracking tubes functions. These tubes are especially important for the indoor, outdoor and polluted environments. It should be UV protected actually. Rain shades. These rain shades are used to extend the creepage of the termination. Breakouts. These medium voltage breakouts are electrically insulating, anti-tracking and UV resistance and weatherproof and flame resistance. So these breakouts are used for the trifurcating the cables, RYB actually, and from that point, water should not go in the cable. Now let's see the manufacturing technology. Actually, what's manufacturing technology are there for this cable accessories. So generally in factories, as I said, 50% products are only manufactured and 50% at site assembly has happened, and then only 100% products are ready. So in factory, what process are there? What's the compounding? So these are the compounds actually, and these are the compounding blending machines is there. So we take the base polymers with the various additives to create the specific properties or tailor heat shrink tubes. After that compounding, extrusion happens. So this is the extrusion machines actually what we have in our Halol factory. This extrusion process happens and we create the heat shrink tubes. After the heat shrink tubings, we send these tubes to the e-beaming process. E-beaming process, after e-beaming process, then only tubes gets the mechanical strength, thermal stability, chemical resistivity, and it builds the memory effect. That's the e-beaming process. As I said earlier also, there are two processes to build the thermal stability, give mechanical strength to the heat shrink tubes. One is the e-beaming process, another one is a chemical process. We manufacture all heat shrink tubes only the e-beaming process. After e-beaming process, expansion is happen. Expansion happens to heat shrink tube. Like I said, 100 by 50, if you take the example of the 100 by 50 heat shrink tubes. So in normal condition, we expand at factory to the 100 square mm. And when that tubes goes to the site, the jointer again heat that tubes and gives a desired shrink. If it is 100, so it shrinks up to 50 square mm. 2:1 as a ratio. So these all four activities, it's happened in-house in our factory, a compounding, extrusion, e-beaming, and expansion process. These are our manufacturing facility. As I said, e-beaming we do in-house. So this is the e-beaming machines. Likewise, we have almost 4-5 e-beaming machine, more machines there where we do the e-beaming to the cables. Because you might be heard many a times cables are cross-linked through the e-beaming process. All solar cables are cross-linked to the e-beaming process. Wires are cross-linked to the e-beaming process. So we do daily these activities, e-beaming activity. This is the extrusion machines. This one is also the extrusion machine. These machines are from the Europe. And this is a well-known e-beaming machine. As we are manufacturing cables up to 220 kV right now, and our quality standards are very high. Our experts are very high, technical experts we have. And same experts we use for the cable accessories also. All the routine tests or acceptance tests, whatever is mentioned in the IS 13573 part 2, we do at our factory. Visual, dimensional, longitudinal change, wall thickness ratio, all these tests we do at our factory. These are the testing facilities, what testing facilities we have. Just I will run through this. Digital tensile machine is this for tensile and elongation. For doing the tracking and erosion, we have these machines. We do all the tracking and erosion test in-house. Vision cameras we have to measure the ID, OD, and thickness of the heat shrink tube. See the uniformity of the heat shrink tubes. Flammability test we do. Hot state test we have. Hot air oven we have. Volume resistance test we can do on our testing facility. Let's see the white polycap actually. So polycap actually, why say polycap? When I say polycap, because we use the cables, cable accessories, dowels, and cable joints and terminations. All are the in-house manufacturing facilities we have. All machines are Europeans. Tubings we manufacture through the e-beam technology, which is more reliable and high performance class. As I said in my first slides, we have 4,600 dealer distributor networks, so readily available stocks at dealer distributors. This is actually just I have listed the benchmarks. We have in-house manufacturing of heat shrink tubings, in-house radiation beaming technology we have. NABL accredited, our test lab is a NABL accredited. Radiation crosslink heat shrink sleeves we have in-house. All the extruders, that's are the European make. Connectors, dowels, actually, we use the dowels, connectors and lugs, perus and lugs. Those are all in-house. We have a big EPC contracting team also. So we takes the EPC jobs. All our products are type tested as per IS 573. Complete cable accessories manufacturing solutions are there. Retail setup we have. And in service, our terminations are in service from last 3 years. So actually, in our own factory, we have used this termination and supplied those use this termination to our express feeder actually. So whatever supply coming to the polycap factories through our terminations only. So this is actually overall cable accessories presentation. Let's see the summary and best practices part is there. That's the final slide actually. First is the criticality. You know how criticality is there, joints and termination. So by using the right accessories, so we can extend the life of the cable. We should adhere to the standard IS standard. So all the accessories should be as per IS 13573. Quality checks we do because we have a big quality team testing facility, and every joint has to be installed through the skill joint test only. Because if joint does not install through the skill jointers, then there is a chance to fail the jointers early before the life is live. With this, I finish cable accessories, joints and terminations, our technical session. If anyone has doubt, then they can put it in the chat. We can discuss on your questions.
The first question is, hi, why government approval is required to execute cable joint? Where is it mentioned like any CA or government acts?
So, government approval is very, very necessary, even though if any manufacturer says that I have tested the products, I have all the test reports, but someone has to be there who verifies the is there genuinely he tested it or not, or as per test only he had supplied or not, supplying or not the products. So it is a Indian government guidelines, so everyone has to test, not only cable accessories but all the electrical products.
Okay. The next question is from Mr. Sarale Muthu Murugesan. How to make joint or fire survival cables?
So, fire survival cables are the actually comes with a special type of the outer protection sleeves, and according to that one, the joint has to become as per the cables outer sleeves. Process will be the same to make the jointing, but that material has to become as per the whatever customer specifications mentions. It is the FR, FRLS kind of things. Jointing process will be remain same.
Okay. The next question is from Mr. Mangesh Joshi. What is the shrink ratio?
Yeah. Okay. So when I will say, we always discuss the heat shrink joint, heat shrink joint. So shrink ratio is that actually uh, if we shrink that, if we give the heat to that tubes, it shrinks. So if one tube is there, that's 100 square mm in expanded form. And when you give the heat to that tubes, it shrinks to the 50 square mm. So 100 to 50. So that's a 2:1. So that's the shrink ratio.
Okay. From Mr. Minto, can more than one cable be inserted into one heat shrink tube so that it seal properly?
Can more than one cable be inside? Uh, this question I am not understanding. Understand?
So,
Can more than
okay.
one cable can be inserted? If it is cable you want to insert in the heat shrink tube, it's okay. You can do that. But what's the purpose, application behind that? That has to be understand first.
Okay. From Mr. Anbu Arjun, what are the reasons for failure of XLPE cable joints and terminations? As an in charge of cable joint and cable termination work, what are the points to be known by an engineer, like importance of removing semicon, making of sheath or armor earthing, etc.? Please share.
Okay, great. So this is very good question actually, I can say. It's exactly related to the jointing work actually. And one should know, actually supervisor or engineer should know the reason in a big, what you call, one should know this reason, at least different reasons of the failure, and each components of the importance of the each component. Like he mentioned the just Anup mentioned the remove of semicon. So that engineer should know actually how important semicon removing is there. It should not remove with the insulation also. When that jointer removing the semiconducting layer, it should not remove the XLP insulation also. It should not what to call cut, make a much more deep cut in the semiconductor in a XLP also. So any supervisor or the engineer should know the functionality of the components.
Okay.
So major
What is
function
branch?
just a minute.
Yeah.
So just majorly failure of XLP joints. If it's major function, always I will just give two three reasons. It's not that that's the only the reason, but major is that water ingress is there, or crimping has not done properly, or shrinking is not done properly. That are the different reasons of the failure. But once we open the joint, then definitely we can do the analysis, dissection of the joint and find out the reason of the failure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, from Mr. Jayakumar, what is branch joint?
Okay, so branch joint is that if it is cable is running through and you want to branching from that, for that purpose branch joint are used. Now, this is very rare use of the branch joint in India, but you don't want it's like the junction kind of things. Cable is running, and from that you want to do the tapping. So like in wires, we can do by the twisting of the wires, but in the 11 kV, 33 kV segment, we cannot do that way. So that for that purpose, we have the special type of the joint where connectors are specially designed, tubings are specially designed.
Okay. The next question is from Arvind Deshpande. Sir, can we apply suitable voltage sleeve directly on conductor as shrinking? If so, can we use flame torch? Does it burn the soft insulation or hot blower is better
And just one, can we apply suitable voltage sleeve directly on conductor as shrinking?
as shrinking? Yeah.
So can we use flame torch? Does it burn the soft? Okay, so you can definitely use heat shrink sleeves on the conductor if you want. But what's the purpose of using the conductor? It is you. He has not mentioned bare conductor or the cable conductor. Okay, if it is the cable, if he wants to use on the cable, then you cannot because you have to follow the process basically. Stress control tube, as I said, stress control tube is very important. So joints has to be made as per the cable constructions warranty. You cannot use that way. If I, if it is overhead kind of thing conductor, then you can use for the sleeve there. But for the cables, you cannot use. And a flame torch or hot blower, you can use both way, but you have to temperature has to be maintained that by that blower, and uniform flame has to be come from that blower or the flame torch.
Okay. The next question is from Mr. Muralidhara BK. Stress control tubes are pre-inserted before jointing to ensure 360-degree coverage.
A stress cord tube are pre-inserted before jointing to ensure 360-degree coverage. Right now, actually, that technology we don't have. But if it is there, then it definitely it's a 360-degree coverage.
Okay. Another question from Mr. Minto. The seal so formed on cable outer sheet due to heating and shrinking is a mechanical friction type seal, isn't it? It is not chemically bonding to outer sheet. Will it be completely water impervious along its length? Impervious.
The seals of form on cable outer sheet due to heating and shrinking is a mechanical friction and seal, isn't it? It is not chemical bonding to outer sheet. Will it be completely?
I think the question is still more long. Another
Yes.
question down. If a seal is failed later, what is the next procedure? Removal, reapply the same, or new one again?
Now again, actually, Mintu, which seal you are telling? I am not understanding actually. It's outer sleeve, outer cable sleeve you are talking or what? I'm not understanding from your question.
Okay.
You can
So,
write afterwards also. Then.
yeah. And next question from Vencelas. Does Mrs. Polycab will train freshers or technicians practically for doing joints?
No, no. Could you repeat? Where is that? Could you
Sorry.
repeat, Lakshmi? What's the question? Hello?
Will you train the, you know, will you train to get to understand it? I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. So we are open to give training or to the jointers or technicians, anyone who wants. You
Yeah.
can connect
Does
us.
Polycab train freshers or technicians practically for doing joints?
Yes. So we are ready to do the technical training session. You can connect separately and we do those sessions.
Okay. What from Mr. Sampath Kota Damodar, what is your cable lifetime and capability of bending radius of your cable?
So it's totally related to cables. So bending radius that right now I cannot tell you. This is totally related to cable section.
Okay. From Samir, is cable gland required for termination kit? If yes, what type, single or double compression?
So basically, double compression is the useful actually always, and we give the double compression only.
Okay. From Gopal Singh Yadav, what is life of cable termination and joint for 33 kV XLPE cable? What should be prior check before termination life expires? Termination life expire.
Okay. So the very good question. This is a very hot topic in the industry for the prevention of the failure of the joints and termination. Till date, as such equipment is not there who can give the failure of the joints and terminations. There are the PD always measures actually partial discharge at the joint or the cable sections. And depending on the PD partial discharge readings, sometimes customer changes the joints or terminations or remove this from the system joints and termination. But that's a very costly things. Uh, so few industries are using this kind of technology right now.
Okay. The next question is from Shrikant. What should be the position or orientation of skirts when cable is from bottom entry or from top entry when connected outdoor?
So it's actually see that rain shades design itself says that when rain falls on that or a, so it should not collect water on the rain shade. It should pass the water. So that way has to be connected. Rain shade should be put on the terminations.
Okay. The next question is from Sita Ram Raju. Is Polycab manufacturing lugs and joint kits?
Yes. So Polycab, as I said, Dowels actually it's our subsidiary, and under that Dowels, it's an old company from 1967. Dowels manufacturing lugs and glands and supplying across India, even exporting. We are exporting that lugs and glands. So we are manufacturing lugs and glands and also jointing kits. Recently, we have started now.
Okay. The next question is from Mr. Muralidhara. Explain regarding memory connected with cable joints.
Okay. So basically, in heat shrink uh, tubings, actually heat shrink joints, whatever tubes come, that's with the memory shape. We say the memory effect. When I say memory effect, it means that we expand that tubes after the e-beaming process. We expand that tubes at the factory, and when that tubes goes to the site and jointer do the jointing work, it shrinks and it gives the heat to that tubes, and that after heating that tube it shrinks, and that shrink happens up to that only. It like as I said, if I send 100 by 50 tubes to the any customer and at site, so at the factory it is a expanded form is 100. When it goes to site and when jointer gives the heat to that tubes, it's shrink to 50. It will not go beyond 50 square mm. It will go one to only 50 square mm. That's a memory effect.
Okay. The next question is from Mr. Sameep. Is transition joint from copper to aluminum conductor cables available?
Ah, yes, actually, that's a special type of that ferrule required. And for that purpose, we can do that. No problem.
Okay. From Dinesh, I would like to know the test to be carried out on the LV and HV cables which are in service for years.
Could you repeat? I couldn't understand.
I would like to know the test to be carried out on the LV and HV cables which are in service for years.
Okay. So it is as per IS 13573, part 2. Everyone has to test as per that only. And if you want more detail, which are the tests, you share the email ID. We can share you the list of the whatever tests are there. But as I mentioned in my slides also, what routine test we do in the factory as per the IS standard.
Okay. The next question is from Mahesh Kumar. Most of the electricity board has recommended feeder pillar now. What is the life of straight through joints?
See, life of the straight through joint, ideally it should be as per the cables only, 25 to 30 years has to be there. And in system is there available. So what many utilities are uses feeder pillars for the LT, low voltage basically. Because of the voltage drop, or they might be wants from at one point many connections, two connections, three connections at one point. So that's why some utilities are uses the feeder pillars.
The next question from Mr. Abhijanan. If we install a termination above 2000 meters, does creepage distance make any sense? Why dry arcing distance is not measured?
Okay. So, Avinjan, actually, when it's a high altitude, we use the cables. As you know that, I don't know, you know that or not, but at a high altitude, it's always atmosphere pressure is low, and there we have to increase the creepage dielectric distance basically in both ways, by creepage extension with length also, and by extending creepage also, so that outer earth fall should not be happen, face to earth should not be happen. So we always, if like 2000 meter you mentioned, if it is 11 kV is there, we always go for the higher voltage class of the termination there.
Okay. The next question is from Richard. May I ask if AC resonance testing is way better to use after installation of kits on XLPE?
AC resonance test.
Yeah, AC resonance testing is way better to use after installation of kits on XLPE.
Mm, right now, actually, I cannot tell you about this, but separately
Yeah,
I can give answer on that.
uh, yeah. Mr. Richard, the mail ID is mentioned in the chat box. You may please send a mail to them directly to get your answer, please. Thank you. And the next question from Chatrughan Singh. Why cable joints are getting failed, especially I am asking for 33 kV probable reasons. Please explain.
Okay. So there are different reasons to fail the joints. It's not the one reason we can say here, "Ki this is the reason failure failure of the joints actually. Sometimes if it is coastal area, water ingress happens. Sometimes, as I said, shrinking not done. Sometimes crimping has not done properly. Sometimes underrated joint submissions are used, or quality standards of the product manufactured products. So there are different kinds of the failures. So right now we cannot say that because of these reasons joints are failure. But majority of failure is the what I saw is the moisture ingress, or the crimping not done properly, or shrinking not done properly. These are the reasons. Or the last, actually, quality standard of the products. What's the quality of the product is there?
Okay. The last question is from Mr. Surendra. We do replace HT termination kit when it gets fault. Can we do predictive test and take action before failure?
Okay. So before, actually, I gave this answer before
Yeah.
someone asked this.
Uh,
See, joints and
Within the
terminations
question,
do not have any indication that ki joints will fail or termination is failing within a 2 3 days time or 1 month time. Only one reason, only one thing right now is the measurement of partial discharge, and that is a costly affair again. Because if you want to measure the partial discharge, so that's a costly equipment actually. And when you see that PD is increasing, leakage current is increasing, then you can remove that termination. You cannot rectify that termination also.
okay. So I think the questions are done. With this, we'll wind up, we'll conclude the session.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Lakshmi.
Ravi sir, would you like to convey anything else more? Or can we conclude the session, sir? The questions
Yeah.
are done.
So thank you everyone for attending in a, such a large audience. If anyone wants to have, like, so someone asked that training session, certification session, so we are ready to do the trainings and give the jointer trainings, or someone wants to supervision training, supervisor training, so that also we are ready to give. Second thing, if anyone wants to do the jointing analysis or termination analysis also, that way also we can discuss on that topic. So anytime you can reach to Polycap and we can further discuss in detail whenever you want. Thanks for again. Thank you again for joining this session. Over to Lakshmi.
Thank you all for joining the wonderful session. Thank you, sir, for the insightful session. Thanks once again. The mail ID is mentioned in the chat box. You may please reach out to them for further queries or inquiries. Thank you. Have a great weekend.